Hello, everyone. I don't know whether you've seen the apology that the Senate President Godswill Akpabio has done to Senator Natasha Akpoti after the statement he made to her when she had a reason to speak on the floor of the Senate, and he said to her that we are not in a nightclub. She needed to wait to be recognized, which of course she apologized for this thing. There was a conversation that was going on. And also, yeah, sometimes people know this is a process, but sometimes because of the matter that it's on, you get excited and you want to talk about it. But the reference to the nightclub, even though the Senate President in his apology has tried to make it look as if no, that's not what he was insinuating. But the thing is that he has been exceptionally disrespectful to the female senators. He has been disrespectful to all the senators. He has made them look as if the Senate is like a subsidiary of the executive. But to the female senators, there's a disdain and a disrespect that comes to it, because I know definitely well that if it was his male counterpart that was speaking, that had spoken up that day, even before being recognized, he wouldn't be making reference, to a nightclub. Though, of course, he has come out to sort of like make you look, oh no, that's not what he meant. He meant that with the noise that was now in a nightclub, that you have to shout above the fray. But let's leave that for another day. But even when you look at the apology itself needs another apology on it. The way he went, the body language. Oh yeah, if you feel offended and whatever, it's not about if you feel offended. You should be apologizing for making the statement that you made and the manner in which you made that statement. And of course, his reference to the fact that, it's their political enemies that take this on. I mean, there's so much disrespect for public, almost as if, even though on one hand he tried to appreciate the public and say that, yes, that means they are following what is being said, but he'll go on the other hand to allude what happened to him and his family to the fact that, it's political enemies. No, it's not political enemies. It's citizens that are angry and speaking up. It's citizens that are saying one thing or the other. They don't like what is happening and they're acting on it. So it's not that, it's some of your political opponents that are orchestrating citizens or whatever. Citizens have the mental capacity to be able to look at the things that you guys are doing and be angry at the things that you guys are doing. I will let you watch the video in a moment. But before I do that, I must say to everyone, advocacy, like I always say in Nigeria, we don't need more activists, we need more active citizens. Advocacy protest comes in different form. There is this magazine, I'm trying to get the magazine now, whether it's is it GistLover they call them? I don't know. I've never read. I sometimes see their article when they're trending or things like that. And then go on, but I've never really followed it. But this particular, I think it's an online publication or magazine or something, GistLover, they were angry. Whoever it is, they were angry at the fact that the Senate President had made reference to nightclub when he was talking to Senator Natasha Akpoti. And of course, they took on the whole issue. They went on it, brought out his phone number, his wife's phone number, and I think there were they said some side chick. That's the part I don't know how, whatever, because they brought in a lot of names, a lot of people. I've seen as one of the persons whose name was also brought out as a side chick to the Senate President, coming out to say that it's lies from the pit of hell and she's going to take legal action. That's on another level. But they went after him relentlessly, and and I think, if I'm not mistaken, one of the things they did mention that he needed to apologize. And hey, It's happening. This is what advocacy is. This is what protest is. And I always say to people, there are different ways to protest. There are different ways to make sure that the right thing is being done. Wherever it is, you can use your music to protest. You can use your writings to protest. You can use whatever medium that you have. You can use it to protest. Protest is not only like being on the streets and, be like when people are asking. So this is it. They took this on. They took this advocacy on, and they forced an apology from the Senate president, who sometimes behave as if, I don't know, he doesn't understand the enormity of his office, how big his office, what being a Senate president means. He seems to look at himself as if he's one of the boys of Tinubu, which is so disgustingly annoying, that you're the head of the most powerful arm of government, and yet you seem not to do that. But anyway, GistLover forced an apology out of what do you call him now? The Senate President Godswill Akpabio. Take a look.
Still learning. Even those of us that have been in the Senate for 16 years, we are still learning. So we'll do well to continue to learn. But in the course of my talking to one of my distinguished sisters, that she should speak whenever she's recognized, I made reference to the fact that we are not in a nightclub where people have to shout above the noise of the music. And the social media went agog. I'm not on social media, but my wife called me that people got angry. They published her number and said people should occupy her. So she used to receive, she received over 2,000 to 3,000 phone calls a day. And then I tried to on one of my phones. I realized it was in the public. In fact, the phone crashed after about 3 hours. So I am very happy with the interest generated by Nigerians in what goes on in these chambers, because we are here to cater for their interests. And so for them to be so interested in what goes on here means that we are connecting with the people directly. And it would have been terrible if we were doing all this work and the people were not even aware of what we are doing. But the communication was totally misunderstood. Instead of taking it for the nature of what we said, that you should not shout when you are talking and not and speak when you are recognized, they went into private abuses. I don't want to say what they did to me, because what they did to me, I think I don't merit it. I was telling DSP that it's even the one they should be talking to, because in my tradition, we marry only one wife. So they listed so many wives on social media. And at the end, it will look as if the Senate president had or has so many wives. When indeed, I'm reporting to my colleagues, I have only one. And I'm satisfied with that one. And she's a beautiful and loving woman. I will not intentionally denigrate any woman. I have a wife, I have 4 daughters. And I always pray that God will lift a girl child to the highest zenith in Nigeria, politically and in business. I also want my children to do well. So, distinguished Senator Natasha, I want to apologize to you if you felt offended. If I had mentioned that we are not in the market, they will say I said you are a market woman. If I said that you were not in a nightclub where people shout above the noise of the music, they will say you went to nightclub. If I said you were not in a community meeting in the village, they will say Akpabio says Natasha is a village woman. For me, there is nothing I will say that will not be misunderstood. But the interest generated in the social media, people jumped in, shows that you have a lot of political enemies. It also shows that I do have enemies. All of us here contested elections with people. So whenever those people think that they are being brought down, they will jump up and they will say all sort of things. I noticed even some of them that could not pass through Senate screenings went into the fray and abused the Senate president, abused you and all that. I don't know how you took it, but I felt that I should tender a public apology to you over the miscommunication and the misunderstanding. So do accept my apologies, and my colleagues or anybody who could have felt offended, accept my apologies. I did not mean any harm, and I did not mean what they are misinterpreting in the social media. And I hope this will come to an end, and people should concentrate on things that will move this country forward and not things that will divide us. So I hope the apology is accepted. Leader of the Senate.
There it is. You heard that apology, the way that it came through. For me personally, I might not like the way that the magazine or the online publication GistLover went about it in terms of bringing in women, bringing in people's names, whom they call side chicks, and all of that. For me, that part really doesn't make as much sense as it should, because if you're fighting for women, why are you degrading other women? And there are some of them who have come out to say that, this doesn't work. And one of them, like I said earlier on, is actually has taken a legal action. There's even a cease and desist letter that has come in from her lawyers to them, and so probably she's going to take legal actions on this whole thing. But the overall thing, at the end of the day, we don't always get things right. There are certain things that we do, we are supposed to do. We all make mistakes. We all do certain things that are like, okay, if we had done it in a different way, it would have been much better, or whatever. But the core message of it all is that everybody can take up something that they're angry about and actually focus on it and go through it and ensure that something is done about it. And that's what GistLover has done with this Akpabio case. I mean, a lot of us were angry at the words that had come out from Akpabio, but they took their anger further, and they took an action on that anger. And I think that's the lesson that we should all take from there, that every one of us, in our own capacity, in the way that we in whatever way we acting, living our lives and whatever, that we also are important enough to be able to make a difference, and we can take up an issue and focus on it and go on it and ensure that the right thing is done by it. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.